Hello and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Realms. It's episode 17 I believe, and today we're starting things off back into my sorting system. Now, you may notice that I've still left quite a lot of chests around, just with random things in it. You can see the blocks in there which keep my sorting system working. We've got a whole lot of random stuff in here, and in here, and in here. So today what I'm planning to do is sort this all out. However, I have been giving it a thought, and with the addition of new blocks and such with the 1.9 update, specifically the new slabs, the new stairs, walls, and whatnot for the andesite, diorite, and granite, and of course for I think it's whatever this is, what is this thing? The moss stone. I think I really should update this entire system so it looks a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into creative version of this world and start ripping apart this entire place and redesigning it. So it'll be something looking completely different, and it's probably going to be quite a lot of work. So that'll be this entire episode is just looking at this, redesigning, rebuilding, and hopefully collecting a whole lot more stuff to put in. So it also means that when I dump things into the sorting chest, I don't have to take out the redstone, for instance, or the repeaters and hoppers and whatnot, so it'll be a little bit more inclusive in the items it takes. But let's get straight into it, shall we? And here I am in creative. Now obviously the first thing I'm going to have to do is get rid of everything in this storage system, and thankfully I'm in creative, so it will just go straight into my inventory and not take up any room. So it's going to this bit shouldn't be too hard, especially as I said I'm in creative, so I should be able to just get rid of all the chests and then clear my inventory, and I should be able to move on pretty quickly from there. And after a bit of work, I've managed to clear out all the wood and all the chests and all that. It took quite a bit of time, but it's finally done. Now I probably can explain what I'm thinking of doing here, and I don't quite have the space for it, but what I was thinking is that on each side I'm going to have chests lining up along here. I probably should get chests out actually. Chests like so. So I'm going to line up chests like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say 7, and then I can fill them with a kind of in this case diorite. So let's have a look at that. We have that's quite nice. So we have 7 types of diorite. So we'd have the walls, the slabs, the stairs, the slabs again, the slabs, and the full type. I forgot the polished diorite slabs, and of course the polished itself. So something like that is what I was thinking of. And then so the redstone would be back here. Then it would cycle round, and you'd have the same on here, this side, with the granite. Then you'd have then you'd have the andesite, and so on and so forth. So this side would all be stones, and another side would all be wood and whatnot. The disadvantage with this system is that the redstone to make this work requires quite a bit of space. I think it's, say, the chests were like this, then you'd have the hopper, and redstone. So you need, I think it's 5 or 6 lines, 5 or 6, and then if you're going to put it like this, you can have a line of 12 before you have it in between each one. So you'd have 3 here maybe, and then your chest again. So I'll put the granite here to represent the chests. And of course we'd want 2 lines of chests, 2 big deep chests, so like that. Then you'd have 12 gap between your next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, and then you can have your next line of chests. And obviously that's not very space efficient, so I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and see if I can come up with a better one. And after a little bit of experimentation, I've come up with this design. Now it's not entirely actually accurate as to that this is the actual design. I am going to stick with these things here though. So what the idea is that there will be passages going down like this, and then they'll come around and leap around, and this bit will be 14 wide and come down like this. I really should have built this up, but I have decided to go with putting putting things in the middle so that this actually does store stuff and isn't just useless wasted space, like I mentioned in the earlier clip. What these will do is that they'll be 2 high instead of the 3 high I've currently got. They'll go along here, and every now and then they'll change type. So obviously this is the andesite blocks, and then the next one might be the granite blocks, and the next line along might be the whatever this is, the diorite blocks. So that's the idea, and I think I'm gonna have to go into the creative version of the realm and see if that will actually fit in. Now that I haven't mentioned, but I've noticed that this is actually 7 wide, I think, or 9 wide when you come up to here. Now it won't be that wide in the realm. I originally built it like this, thinking that these were just going to be dead end things. However, as I have mentioned, it's just going to be one big loop, and therefore this bit here will not be here. It's just going to end. It's just going to turn from here into the next passage along there. So anyway, I'm going to go into the realm and test that a bit more. And I'm back here in the realm with 2 slightly different ideas as to how to build this thing. Now, the 2 ideas is that I can build the walkways directly right up next to the entrances, so one here and one here, and depending on how big I make the entrances, assuming I do 4, that would leave, I think it's 20 blocks in the middle here, and that's quite a bit of room, and I think it's about the same amount of storage. The other idea I have, which I've started a little bit of construction here, is leaving 4 chests, which makes this quite even. 4 chests here, then a 4 wide walkway, and just ignoring these for a second because they'll be part of the decoration. And then you have the 15 blocks in here, which allows for your 7 wide sorting redstone, 1 block in the middle, and then the 7 wide on this side. Your 4 wide entrance and your 4 wide 4 chests again, which I just stick in like so. So these are the 2 designs, and I'm leaning towards this one because it probably looks a little bit neater, what with the chests on each end, and it just gives the impression of a little bit more storage. The other idea I need to think about is what to store in these 30 chests that are going to be here, or 30 odd chests, and I'll have to think about that, of course, but I think I'm going to go with this design. So now I have to go through the arduous task of taking out all the stuff in the sorting system and current sorting system, and taking out all the logs and wood and stones and dumping it all into chests up above ground, so say somewhere up here, and then ripping out all the hoppers and chests and putting that all, and then digging out it all. It's just going to be a really, really long task. Anyway, but there's no time like the present to get started, so off I go. Now obviously the first thing I'm going to have to do is move all the things from the chests in there to the chests up here. Hopefully these 21 odd chests are going to be enough. I think it's 21. Yeah, it is 21. And I've moved I'm going to put the redstone over here so it's easily gettable. All the redstone, the comparators, the repeaters, and the torches, and of course the hoppers and chests that I'm going to need. So, and I do realize that I've got way more than 21 chests worth of. I've got way more than 21 different kinds of items in here, but I'm thinking of just dumping everything in here, and hopefully it should work, because most of the stuff, there's only a few stacks of it. Say if we look in here, there's only 2 stacks there. If we look down here, there's only 1 half of a stack in there. So most of the stuff should be pretty fit into those 21 chests up there. It's going to be the non-stackable stuff like this over here that I'm going to struggle with, and these can't really go into the sorting system anyway, so those might be the items I fit into the 30 chests straight down the center. But anyway, there's no time like the present to get started on moving these things. Well, after quite a bit of moving and chopping down trees and whatnot, I finally managed to get rid of all the redstone, all the hoppers, and all the things that were in them, and they're all in the 21 odd chests that are up here. So I managed to separate them into the stackable items, the non-stackable items, and all the redstone that I'm going to need. Now what all I need to do is take out all these bits, and then I can get started on actually building this thing. And now the rest of the decoration bits have been torn out, and as you can see I have replaced up the walkway down the middle. Now that's all left to do is to start on the decorations for the new bit. So I'm thinking putting these ones across the top, and those will be the main decorations for the middle of the rail of the walkway, and then in each of the two bits going up in each direction. So one here, approximately there, and one approximately here. I'm going to have these just as a A-frame, not as an A-frame, just a frame going around it, and it'll start going off into its different types of resources down each path. And a bit more of a progress update for you. As you can see, I've created the main hallway that goes straight down the middle of this tunnel, and I've also created the 4 passageways that are going to go off in each direction. So one here and one further down here, and these two on the right hand side of the world as I'm looking at it will link up, and the same at the left. Now the next thing I need to figure out is how and which side to build the things on. So I'm thinking at the first of doing the stone tabs, because those are pretty simple, and I was originally thinking of doing them straight from what I would call the main entrance, which is this side here. Now, which order do I do them? I think I'll do granite first. So, and that needs to go up by 7, needs to go up to there, and there needs to be a room for 7 blocks of granite. So let's get my pickaxe. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the, what do you call it, the frame goes over here. And then you should do the same for the diorite, the andesite, cobblestone types, and then the stone types. So stone is going to have bricks as well, so they may be a little bit bigger than the other types. Let's have a look at stone, if I can spell that correctly. So you can see there's a little bit more of the stone types. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Possibly you also have the stone slabs, which I don't quite have here, I think. These ones. And smooth stone as well, that's another one I need to create. So there's quite a few ones in the regular stone. Cobblestone I think is going to be quite a bit as well, but obviously I'm going to have to dig off in this direction as well quite a bit, at least 21 blocks from the looks. And then I've still got to decide where I want to put all the other things as well. Now, what I was thinking of to go in here are the mob drop things, because I may be off in the area killing off random mobs, and then I might only have 1 or 2, so I might want to just come in here, dump off some random material, and then move on. The other idea I had is put some of the biggest building material off in here as well, but I'll have to consider that, because I suppose I'd most often use logs, and I really want the logs to be all in one place as well with all the wood. And just a little bit of an update. This is the kind of thing I've been looking for: the andesite segment, the diorite segment, the granite, the diorite, and the andesite, and then you have stone. So this is going to be stone bricks and regular stone, like what I'm holding now. And then as well, we're going to have the cobble section. What I'm thinking is that this section down here is going to be dirt. So dirt, coarse dirt, grass blocks, and I'll have probably 7 as well, 7 wide, 7 long, or 7 chests in it. And that will hold several chests of dirt, and a few of coarse dirt, some grass, and the last one path blocks. So those 4 should be enough to fill up what I've got, or at least to fill up to hold all the dirt. Now I also need to think about what I'm going to do in the sand on the corner, as well as on the back wall, both front and back. But anyway, it's time. I think I'm going to start moving on to doing the wood sections. So what I'm thinking for that is down on the right hand side of what I would call the main entrance, is I'm going to put 3 on each side, so 3 on this side and 3 on this side. And I do need to think about which ones, but this side's going to be a little bit longer than the other side, given that if we're looking at the wood types, I'll just make this into wood. We can see there's 3 stairs and slabs, there's doors, there's trapdoors, there's pressure plates, there's buttons, there's fences, there's the block itself, and there's the 2 logs itself. So there's quite a lot of different types of things just in the wood itself. Yeah, let's look at that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you wanted to count the boat, there's 11. So there's 10 different things. Then again, I don't really need to store heaps of buttons or pressure plates, or maybe not trapdoors and doors, but or signs. So that would leave it with the log. If I want to do the strip log, that's 2. The planks, 3. Stairs, 4. Slabs, 5. Fence and fence gate, 6 and 7. And that's nice and even. Then of course, doors, trapdoors and buttons, I would have to think about how I do that, but I may just leave that so it's not Oh, I don't know. It's a bit of a tricky here, where if I store it or not and hook it up into the system. The entire point of me redesigning the system was so I could actually hook up a lot of that stuff into the system. So that is the consideration I have to take. But I don't really want to do 10 different types of every type, because that means I'm actually going to have to create one for it, and 27. What's 27 times 2? 54 different storage bits for buttons. Is it for just spruce buttons or spruce? What do you call them? Signs. Is a bit excessive, I feel, but it's something I do need to think about and work on. Well, I've been giving thought to how I'm going to store all the wood types, because if I look in here and type in, say, birch, there we go. We have the planks, the slab. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then of course you have the log and the stripped log, so that's 10, 11, and 12 equals the leaves. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and of course the boat makes 14. I don't think I'm going to have to store the boat by storage system, because it's one of those non-stackable items, but still 14 or 13 different items is still a lot, and with 14 it does fit quite nicely, because if you look over here, these ones are all 7. So what I had the idea of doing is that instead of just having one side as birch and then moving on to jungle, I could have one as both sides as birch, then moving on to oak and jungle, and so on and so forth. What it does mean is that the far side of this is going to be a little bit longer than the side I've got over here at the moment, but I do have a few more things I need to store on the building side of things, because I've decided that if I'm entering from this side anyway, all things on the right are going to be used for building things, and things on the left are different things. Or that said, the things on the left here at the moment are going to be the stones and the wood types and a few other things, and the things on the right I think are going to be things that are dyed, so like red concrete or red terracotta or things like that, things that require dye at some point to make them. So anyway, I'm going to get started on that now. And a bit more of an update for you. I've now filled in all these chests and built up all these sections, so you can see the the oak, the spruce, the jungle, and the dark oak. And the reason for this order is my logic being that these are the 4 woods I'm going to use the most, not necessarily in that order, but I'm thinking that I'm going to use these 4 types most. And then if I come down here, I've got the birch on one side and the acacia on the other, because this is exactly 14 chests, and I thought it'd be nice and easy to do it along here instead of making the tunnel go off another 14 off in this direction and then curving it around here. What it does mean there is that this tunnel can now loop around to here, and I now have 2 segments over here, which I think I'm going to use for nether stuff, because that's another thing that I didn't do earlier. So I get to build this up, but what I do need to do now is fill in all the hoppers, and of course build this section up, but build the section up, put in all the hoppers, redstone, comparators, repeaters, torches, and all that, and then this half of the redstone bit should be done. So what I'm thinking at the moment is that with the hopper entrance being here, it's going to come along here, loop all the way down this side, go along the birch side there, come back and end here, and then will, since I haven't built this side yet up, it's going to come across through here and enter this side and do the same thing, going through the granite, the diorite, the acacia, not the acacia, whatever this is, the andesite, whatever this is going to be, looping around here, do the birch, I know I said birch earlier, but birch on this side, then the dark oak, whatever this is, the jungle, whatever this is, spruce, and ending on oak, and then of course it's going to come round, the hopper line will continue round across here and enter this side of the compartments. And lastly, I don't think I'm going to be using these, I'm going to be hooking these up to the sorting system, because I think I might put swords and axes and pickaxes and all those things that are the non-stackables in here, and the non-sortables as well. So that's my game plan, and I think I'm going to continue with that and come back when I finish up the redstone. And I'm now in the bowels of my sorting system. I think it's now all complete except for the items themselves. All the redstone is in place, all the hoppers are in place. Hopefully they're all pointing in the right direction, because otherwise it's going to be a big pain to find out where it is. So this is the middle section done, and I've also done the outer wall bit. So this is, it loops around from, I should show you right here. It loops around from here, goes all the way around in an anti-clockwise direction, and comes around here, and it crosses through this section which I need to cover up with some spruce bits which I dumped into a chest over here earlier, and then it goes around in a clockwise direction this time, from here all the way around, going back behind those decoration bits, just like this one, ending on the back wall, continuing round, and it currently ends just over here somewhere, just behind this hopper over here. So, sorry, this pole over here. So all I need to do now is outfit each of these blocking hoppers, these sorting hoppers, with 41 blocking dirt, and then the one item that I'm going to sort in. So that's going to be quite a little bit of work, but hopefully that should be done pretty quickly. And I've now finished putting in all the items for the redstone, so the redstone behind this sorting system should now all work. Now I've got the very arduous task of filling every single chest full of these things and dumping all the stuff into the sorter so it can work. But thankfully I'm going to do that off camera between this episode and the next, because I've run out of time for today. So if you have liked this episode, which was unfortunately mostly just me filling up this sorting system, ripping it out and rebuilding it, which I think it looks actually quite nice. So if you have liked this episode, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to keep looking out for the next one. Goodbye!